This is Debbie, and welcome to my offbeat journey to becoming a full-time location independent freelancer. I'll be sharing my tips and tricks as well as the realities of this offbeat lifestyle. Hey Offbeat family, welcome back to my Offbeat Journey, where I'm telling you all about the ins and outs of what it's like to finally become location independent. This week I have a guest with me. I have Aaron. Hey Aaron.
Hello, how are you?
He's kind of tired right now. He just came back from work, but I wanted him to be a part of this discussion because it's pretty important for any business, and Aaron has one and so do I, and we find this to be really crucial in actually getting sales in our business. So we're going to talk about the importance of follow-up in remote businesses and in any business in general. And I find I get a lot of questions from fellow entrepreneurs about how to do this effectively and actually how to get a client and when is the right time to stop. When do you keep going, the amount of time you actually email someone or call them before you finally give up and become obnoxious and stalkerish, because we don't want to do that either. But I think a lot of people in the business kind of understand. What do you think, Aaron?
Yeah, I mean, it's part of the game that you got to follow up, and sometimes it can get annoying when you're calling somebody over and over again, but it's part of it, so you just got to do it.
I know that you call people in your business because Aaron does real estate aside from his day job, and he's very good at calling people daily, and sometimes you don't get an answer back because people do lead a busy life and sometimes they're bombarded by other things and they tend to forget. So it's definitely crucial to do that. I've had clients that I actually didn't hear back from them for 3 months. And then all of a sudden they email me back saying, keep emailing me. I need the reminder. I'm just really busy right now, but please keep emailing me. What about you, Aaron? What has been your experience with this?
Sometimes when people are like upset that you're calling, it's, don't take it personal. And I know everybody says that, but sometimes the reason is not because they're angry at you, actually just angry at the situation. And, it's kind of like a friend or family member, like showing frustration and anger. They're not mad at you per se. So sometimes these these people become like their therapist, and you're like a shoulder to cry on or whatever. So it's important that you're there to listen and not immediately just jump to the conclusion that they're angry at you just because they're angry.
Yeah, that's really true. And I mean, you do get that a lot, especially if you're calling. Aaron does a lot more calling. I do a lot more emails. Most of the time for the emails, you just won't get a response. And for the phone calls, maybe they won't answer. And if they do answer, they can be rude. But you just have to chalk it up as part of the business, part of the game if that does happen, and never take anything personally, because then that's going to make you quit a lot faster if you do that. Now, Aaron, you actually have a note on top of your desk that I wanted to share with everybody that I really love. These are sales statistics that I want to share with all of you. So I'm going to read it, and then we're going to process this, because this has been a proven method that this is what people are actually doing. So 48% of people never follow up with a prospect. 25% make a second contact and then they stop. 12% of people only make 3 contacts and then they stop, but only 10% make more than 3 contacts. So think about that. Where are you in these statistics? Do you give up after the first try if you don't get an answer? Do you give up after the second, the third? Now, they have another statistic, which is really interesting. 2% of sales are made during the first contact. 3% of sales are made on the second contact. 5% are made on the third, 10% on the fourth, and 80%, get this everybody, 80% of sales are made on the 5th to the 12th contact. So if you're one of those people that give up after the second or third, then you are the majority of people. And that is why you are not landing these clients that you really want. Because also remember that most people, especially if you are talking to somebody in marketing and a brand, they probably get 100 emails a day and they don't get to your emails at all. So if you keep emailing them, they're going to notice and they're going to finally say, fine, I'll email this person back. They're very persistent. And if they've been on this for a really long time, they'll understand the game and they will most likely want to work with you more because you're, you know, like the 10% of the people that actually work your butt off to get to them. So this is just a really great statistics to learn because you don't want to give up. Now, what I find that it really works for me when I try to email different people from different brands for my business is the first 3 to 4 weeks or the first month, I email them every single week, once a week. And then after the first month, if I don't get an email back, I email them twice a month, so every other week until I get a response. Now, if I'm at my 15th email or 20th email and I still don't get a response, I go back to my assistant and I ask them to find a different email. Maybe that person doesn't work there anymore. Maybe the person is not in, I don't know where they are. They're on vacation. Sometimes they're on maternity leave. Whatever it is that you need to do, just keep hustling and get another email if you have to. What has your experience been on this, Erin? Because I know your business is a little bit more, I guess every business is kind of similar in that way.
Yeah, you just have to be persistent and basically, if the rapport is there, meaning that you can have small talk with a person and they're not just yesing you so they can get off the phone with you, and they genuinely enjoy the conversation. Usually, that means you have rapport. And if you call them and they are picking up, then they are still interested on some level. It's just maybe there's some things holding you back. And if that's the case, the best thing to do is actually set up a meeting with them. If it's a virtual thing, do a Skype call so you can have FaceTime with them, face-to-face communication. Or if it's like for real estate, I try to set up a meeting where I can talk to them face-to-face, and then we can hash out whatever objections they have or hiccups that are keeping them from moving forward, whatever the decision is.
That's really crucial to do, is to keep that communication line open, because that's how you create relationships, and you really want to create the best relationships when it comes to getting your business going, landing that client. And again, persistence is key. Don't give up. I know you may want to give up after a few tries, but remember, 80% of sales are made on the 5th to 12th contact. Now, let me tell you a little story. About over a year ago, around this time, so actually in September, mid-September, I contacted a client or a company, and I sent them an email, and I wanted to work with this company because they really aligned with my business. And the marketing manager for that company also believed that they were perfect and it aligned as well. Now, unfortunately, the person that was supposed to be in charge of the project ended up leaving the company, and they didn't have anyone to be in charge of it. Now, a year later, so we were in contact about, oh my goodness, there's so much emails, like 10, 15. I even did like 3 phone calls with them. Nothing was happening because the company was in limbo without this person. I talked to the CEO of the company, everyone I spoken to. Now, nothing ended up happening because of that. But about 3 weeks ago, all of a sudden, they contacted me back and they still want to work with me because I was so insistent that this was going to work. And I kept that communication line open, and now they are a company that I'm going to be working with continuously. So that's just a sample of what can happen, right? Because there's other things besides you and this person. There's so much happening behind the scenes that may be affecting the job getting done and you landing that job. So just remember that there's so many things happening in the background that we don't know. So don't ever jump into conclusions just in case you don't get that call back. Are there any other tips that has worked for you, Aaron, when it comes to follow up in your business?
Just reading the situation, because there is a certain point where you're wasting time and effort on people that are never going to buy from you. Um, in which case, maybe email is a better way to communicate, especially if you can automate that. But as far as just keeping the rapport, like if you have that connection with the person and they're receptive to what you're trying to say, that's basically a time that means that you should keep going forward. Even if it only takes like a minute or two of follow-up every once in a while, every 2 or 3 weeks. That's important because timing is important with anything with sales. If they don't have the funds available or they're in the middle of like any big things with mergers or any crazy stuff like that, restaffing people, it's going to be difficult for you to get the sale then. So the timing is important, and there's no way to know other than just asking them when's a better time. So it's important that you kind of have that in the back of your mind, that as long as they're receptive to your message, it's okay to keep calling them.
I really agree with that. It's true. I mean, there's also certain times of the year when it's better for you to actually contact the companies, whether it's their first, second, or third or fourth quarter, where they actually are looking for people to um, create some work with, to create collaborations with. So make sure you look that up. If they're not looking for somebody right now, then ask them when it would be the right time to send them that email, because you also don't want to waste your time. And like Aaron said, there's just certain companies and certain people that you talk to. If you feel in your gut that it's just not going to work, don't waste your time on that and look for other companies that will be a better fit for you. So that is pretty much our tip on follow up and why it's really important in your business. And I've been doing a lot of that, and I think it'll help you a lot when it comes to getting more sales in your business. And other than that, so I was supposed to go on a month-long trip cross country doing hiking with one of my friends. I ended up spraining my ankle, and I had to stay in New York City. So, I mean, it's good and it's bad. So, I've been doing a lot of work, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And here with Aaron, he's putting up with me for the last few months that I'm in New York. But maybe in the winter, we'll be going back to Florida to kind of escape the winter. But other than that, that's it. And of course, I'm so excited to share with you the episode next week, because it is our 2-year anniversary episode. So make sure you check that out, because I'm going to be sharing some of the most popular questions I get on how to be location independent. All right, that's it for now, Offbeat family. Thank you so much for joining me for my Offbeat journey. And thank you, Aaron, for being here today and giving us the insights for what you do for your business on follow up.
Thank you, Offbeat family.
All right, everyone. Bye-bye. Hey, Offbeat family, I really appreciate you listening to this episode. I would love to hear more from you and what you think of the podcast. Suggestions on guests, topics we can discuss, or maybe you just want to be friends. Why don't we chat some more on Facebook at The OB Life, or send me a message at hello@theoffbeatlife.com. I can't wait to hear from you.